welcome to the channel. My name is Alexis Blake. If you've never been here, I'm a transgender woman sharing my life and experiences and stories on social media. So today, I quit my job. I'm laughing because it's like internalized, like subconscious stress and worry and anxiety. I quit my job without a backup plan and without another job in place. And I know that seems a little bit reckless, and it is. But let's get into why I quit the job while I do my makeup. Okay. I'll not go into the things leading up too much to the last week because I've got loads of TikToks and shorts on that, but the kind of basis is I got a new job. No one knew I was trans. I didn't come out as trans. It was lovely, all fine. A couple of weeks, someone I know from before outed me as trans, and then everything changed. It got worse. I was getting funny looks, staring at my crotch to figure out, I guess, what was going on down there. People were laughing at me, and it was just it was an uncomfortable situation. And then things started to get better. Started talking to HR and management. We got some new inclusive toilet signs just to get awareness about inclusivity and diversity in the workplace. And it was looking up and it was getting better. Something I haven't mentioned on any of my other videos is something that's sort of been going on in the background this whole time. And this is kind of one of the primary reasons why I resigned from my job this morning. Okay, this is here because I still have a little bit of facial hair shadow from the laser. It's mostly gone, but I still have a little bit. Let's blend it in. I've just been letting it sit and settle, to thicken up and get the best coverage possible. At the start, I was using the canteen on my lunch break, as you would. The company has a policy, basically, that because there is alcohol and tobacco within the warehouse, because it's a warehouse that I worked in. I was in admin in the office, but it was in a warehouse. Because of that reason, we weren't allowed outside during shift. So we could go out of the front doors of the warehouse, go to smoking area, do whatever you wanted, but the whole building was in a perimeter of fences and you had to use a key card to get out of the turnstile thing. I don't know what this is. To get into the car park or parking lot. And for the first sort of week, I stayed inside, I did as I was told, and then someone was making inappropriate comments and jokes towards me, like started off with things like good morning beautiful, which made me uncomfortable, and then it developed into sexual jokes. I obviously made a complaint and that was dealt with and he was released or sacked or whatever you want to call it. So after that week, I started to go and sit in my car. I was like, do you know what? On my lunch break, it's a pretty stressful job. I just like quietness. I just want to go on my phone, watch a YouTube video, eat my sandwich without being stared at. So I started doing that. And then fast forward, I get outed and I had more of a reason to go to my car because I didn't want to just sit there with people looking at me. I just wanted privacy, you know? Just to address something as well, because I've seen a few comments about this, like, oh, well, you're on social media, people would have found out anyway, so why does it matter that you got outed? First of all, it was a principle that I spoke to that person and asked them not to out me, and they went ahead and did it anyway. And second of all, when I started the job, I didn't have a YouTube channel, and on TikTok, I only had 300 followers. So there was never a chance of basically people from work finding me, and I didn't have people from work on social media. So I'm going to my car, having my lunch there, all is fine and dandy. Work then brings it up because they've noticed my key card has been scanning out of the perimeter of the building and said, oh, you can't really do that, that's against company policy. So I was just left to go into the canteen. I was like, do you know what, I'm going to try it. Things were getting better. I was getting less stares, people were getting used to me being there, and no one was directly saying anything. Well, I had a couple of comments, things like, cheers mate, and things like that. Do you know, it was like an undermined way to say you're a man without being directly rude or transphobic, but nothing I couldn't handle. So I was like, do you know what, I will go into the canteen and I'll just have my lunch and we'll see how we go. I'll give it a week. So I did a whole week. Well done me. And it was not comfortable. Like out of like say 40 people, maybe only 5 people were staring at me, but it was enough to make me uncomfortable. So my shift pattern was rotating every week. So one week I'd do earlies, one week I'd do lates. The earlies were good because any anxiety I had about going into work, I'd just have to get up, get ready and go. So there was no time to sort of think. Whereas the late shifts, I had all morning to sort of ponder on what might happen that day, if that makes sense. And it got to a point at the back end of this week where I just really didn't want to go into work and I was really uncomfortable, basically. So I started ringing in sick, which I know is not right. But I just didn't want to go. And I kept trying like to go back to it and just sort of move on from this anxiety that I was feeling over it. And it seems so small now I'm saying it out loud. It seemed like not the big deal, and I guess I can see why people wouldn't think this is a big deal, but to me it was just making me uncomfortable. And there is other reasons that sort of add into the layers of the sandwich of why I quit my job this morning. It was a very busy job. If you've ever worked in admin, you'll know it's very stressful. And you do a lot, which is fine. I could handle it majority of the time. I had a couple of meltdowns, but everything was generally fine. I'm just using the Hoola bronzer to bronze up with. So the job was stressful, but I was getting on with it. However, it became more and more apparent to me that the pay that I was getting was not good for the level of responsibility that I had, basically. Always do too much blooming bronzer. If you ever do too much bronzer, like I clearly just did because I wasn't concentrating, just get your beauty blender with whatever product's left on and just sort of go over like a magic eraser, and it just sort of blurs it out. I always do too much, I don't know why. During the shift as well, say if I wanted to pop to my locker to get some paracetamol because I had a headache, I had to ask management if it was okay for me to leave the warehouse. The actual, not outside, just to leave the doors of the warehouse. And that felt a bit like you know, like, ugh. It was just another sort of layer in everything. So I was going into work, I was doing quite a stressful job for not the best money. I also had been outed, so that was always sort of there on the shelf. So I was supposed to go to the canteen with all these people staring at me. It was just sort of building internally over a few weeks. I'm just going to use the Natural Collections Blush Peach Melba. It got to a point over the last few days, I was talking to my fiance, and I was like, I'm just really not happy. It's a lot of blush, Alexis. I'm just going to quickly go and do my liner and mascara, and I'll be back. So, liner and mascara is on. The liner is definitely not twins today. They're not even sisters. They're some sort of distant cousins. But we'll move on. So, I had all this sort of going on in the background. Plus, this last 2 months, I have really enjoyed filming TikToks and putting that on YouTube. And my channel has grown so much, which is so crazy. It was taking a lot of time. It was just getting to a point where I was working 40 hours at my admin job, and then I was also doing 20 hours a week, roughly, on filming content, trying to reply to you guys, emails and all that sort of stuff. So it was getting quite busy. We're also renovating our house at the minute. It's not like a fixer-upper, but we just want to put our own style on it, and we just not had time. So like the kitchen's half finished, and we don't even have a shower yet. We've just got a bath, and there's so many different things I want to do. Like, I've not had a working hob in 4 months. I've got the hob in, we've just not had time to book someone to come and gas it in. So I have a pretty hob, but I can't use it. Cookies and cream highlighter for my highlighter. So it was a combination of everything. The catalyst, I think, was definitely the whole canteen issue and me not being able to just have a peaceful lunchtime. And I wasn't even having time to reply to comments because I would do a full shift at work. With the travel there and back, it'd be a 10, 11 hour day. I'd then come home, we'd cook, we'd eat. I'd try and reply to a few comments. We'd maybe watch half an episode or something, then I'd be passed out asleep. And it was just a constant cycle of, it felt like I was on a treadmill and someone kept turning up the treadmill. And I was like trying to keep up, not that I go to the gym, by the way, because I do not. And I was trying to keep up with it, and I just couldn't anymore. I joked to Liam last night. I was like, I'm going to quit tomorrow. I don't think I work there anymore, as a joke. And he was like, just do whatever makes you happy. Obviously, it's fine, which I really appreciate. I'm using the Revolution lip liner in Heart Race. It's a really nice, like, nudie nude. Do you know what I mean? It's not like a pinky nude. It's not like a plummy nude. It's like a nudie nude. That made sense in my head anyway. I'm not striving for perfection when I do my makeup. I'm striving for it's good enough. So then I'm going to go in with the Revolution lipstick in. It's a matte lipstick and it's in Naked, which is just another really nudie nude. Topping it off with the Lifter Gloss by Maybelline in Ice, O2 Ice. Just for a little bit of sparkle. Oh, that is my lip done and my makeup is on. Not that I've got anywhere to go today. So also about a month ago, work did come to me and talk about my social media. Knowing that they knew also was like an underlying level of uncomfortability for me, because I was just felt I was being watched, I guess, by them, if that makes sense. I just hope that no one's upset with me or frustrated, because obviously I was trying to be super strong and face everything that was going on there, and it was getting better, and HR was being super kind and helpful, and it got to a point where I was just done. You know when you're just done? You're just like, nope, can't do anymore. That's enough for me. Oh, I got my nails done, by the way, as well. How cute are they? She was a bit rough around my cuticle, I'm not gonna lie, but they look beautiful, so it's all good. Yeah, this is where I am now. Exciting things. I don't know, I'll going to be posting a lot more of this full length content if you enjoy this sort of stuff. I hope you all have a lovely evening. Thank you for watching. Bye.